It's the one that was good with Grove of the Burn Willows, Punishing Fire. Yeah, he has that combo in here. It's like when, yeah, it was a two.
It's whenever they gain life, right?
Whenever you gain life, it gets bigger, right?
Okay.
Kind of like a Johnny's Pride Mate, right?
Yeah, but opposite.
It's
a Johnny's Pride Mate on opposite day.
When your opponent gains life,
yeah,
it gets bigger, right? So yeah, so he's got 4 of those in here alongside the Grove of the Burn Willows Punishing Fire combo.
It's like the Cowardly Lion, only the opposite. Oh, but it actually it gets that many ++1 counters. It's not just
just one every time you
yeah.
gain life. It's like you gain 5 life, it gets 5 counters. So that's really good.
It also has Trample, so it's really good against Thopter Sword.
Yeah,
just crush
really
people.
Good. Fiery Justice also in the deck, which was opponent gains 5 life, and you deal 5 damage divided how you choose amongst any number of target creatures or players. So that's always a great combo alongside Kabu Predator. Predator gets bigger, they gain some life, and then you just wipe their board and swing with the Predator. So
Swords to Plowshares, also a great card.
Yeah,
Kabu Predator.
4 of those in the deck, of course.
You know, your opponent has a gigantic Tarmogoyf in play, and you cast Swords to Plowshares.
Yeah,
and,
it's
you know, your Kabu Predator becomes this ginormous monster.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting, pretty neat. I haven't really seen. I mean, it looks kind of like just a Nihilist, right? And definitely, I mean, he's got Progenitus, Natural Order Progenitus in here. Mental Missteps, of course, easily castable for just a low cost of 2 life. Pretty cool. So, do we know the records of both of these guys? Are they both undefeated? Okay, we're gonna get their records. We know Paul was undefeated last time we saw him, so you know, good possibility that these guys are both EXO. Very exciting. Punishing Fire Grove of the Burn Willows was a very
it was almost a like an oppressive part of the extended
right?
format that it was part of, because you couldn't play decks that were intending to win with creatures that were certain power and toughness,
right.
because they would all just get Punishing Fire away.
Punishing Fire, Grove of the Burn Willows, get the Punishing Fire back.
Pyromancer Ascension with Punishing Fire was actually one of the most played decks at that Pro Tour.
That seems really strong.
But Grove Punishing Fire seems really
really
good.
Good in Legacy too, yeah.
I can't imagine Grove Punishing Fire against Merfolk.
Yeah, it seems like that would be
my gosh.
pretty... Like he's going to need...
If he assembles that?
Yeah.
I mean, he only has 2 Punishing Fires, so he has to draw 1, but this deck looks really good against Merfolk. Fiery Justice against Merfolk?
Yeah. Paul's going to have to hold those Wastelands for those Groves, for sure.
Yeah, these Dazes and Forces are really important. If he gets Fiery Justice, he probably just loses.
Yeah. I think Brandon's probably...
I guess he could draw Kira.
Kira definitely helps.
Kira's good, but Punishing Fire is pretty good against Kira, even.
So both players are 5-0.
Nice. So
cool.
Brandon Leonhardt, awesome deck. Excited to see him at 5-0 with this.
Yeah. So there's Paul on the left. He always wears that tie with that shirt. I don't really...
Yeah, it's like it's just hanging there, like completely defying gravity. I don't even understand. All right, so Brandon Leonhardt has the play. He'll be playing first. And what do you think he wants to see in a matchup like this? He wants to see Punishing Fire or Fiery Justice. Those are the 2 most important cards, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I mean, I don't know if he knows Paul's on Merfolk, but he seems like he's in a pretty good situation already with bigger dudes, you know. And no islands, definitely definitely relevant, because the Sword of Atlantis is what I was about to say. The Lord of Atlantis
can't actually power
it is not as powerful without the island walk. Merfolk typically good against blue decks just for that reason. So one advantage to not playing blue here is when you face Merfolk and Lord of Atlantis. It's not so backbreaking.
All right, so
both players keep, it looks like.
Keeps his. He goes Green Zenith for 1, and Paul will Mental Misstep that.
Yeah. So
Brandon writes down the life total, and then will he Mental Misstep back? He's thinking about it. Is it important to you? Yes, it is. Okay, he mental missteps back. And
It's pretty nice because with that also leaves Paul likely able to resolve an Aether Vial if he has one on turn one.
so it's worth considering not using that mental misstep if you don't have to.
Right. Again, if Brandon doesn't know what Paul is playing, all he's seen so far is mental misstep. Doesn't really tell you much.
And now,
If Brandon didn't know before, though, I think he'll know quickly. See does Paul have the turn one vial? No, he has Wasteland for Dryad Arbor, so
yeah.
probably expects that he's playing against some sort of no rug list or no.
Now
band
he's
list.
got to be very confused.
Now he's got to say, wait a minute, Kavu Predator, huh? Okay. I mean, Kavu Predator almost immediately makes you realize, okay, Fiery Justice, Grove of the Burning Willows, Punishing Fire, like that. Those cards all were just alongside each other and extended. So
Yeah.
Paul has already used 2 Wastelands, and we talked about the possibility of him saving those for any Grove of the Burn Willows just to keep that combo from happening.
Now
Not-
Paul with
not
that double
Paul's plan at
wasteland
this
draw
point.
was able to put Brandon off his second land.
So Kavu Predator taking little tiny chunks out of Paul's life total. And the Silvergill Adept comes down on Paul's side of the board. He does not attack with the Curse Catcher.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why. Why
Taiga.
not? So Taiga.
Good draw step.
Brandon.
Brandon Leonhardt play another Kavu Predator. Seems like a pretty good play here.
Yeah, there it is.
And that's what comes down.
Paul revealed a Coral Helm Commander off of that Silvergill Adept, in case you were wondering.
Alright. So
And,
Paul will... does Paul have any counter magic left now? Can we see? Paul will go ahead and play a...
I thought that was a Mutavault. It does look like a Mutavault.
yeah, I think it is a Mutavault. Play a Lord of Atlantis.
Mutavault into Lord of Atlantis and Aether Vial.
Alright, and I think Paul has no counter spells, so... I mean, if Brandon gets White Swords off the top, it's practically game.
Well, he has the Curse Catcher, right? Fiery Justice costs 3,
Oh, you're right. Okay.
so he needs 2 lands to resolve Fiery Justice.
Now, what else does he have in here that might be good at this point in time?
Open number 3. We are ready to fire. Please report to the drafting area at this time.
Paul's going to put a counter on this vial now.
We're ready to go. Please report to the drafting area.
He drew an island.
Considering the play here, looks like Alpha Strike. Yeah. Maybe not. Okay, yeah. He is going with the Alpha Strike. Now this gives Brandon the opening to take care of that Curse Catcher. So in case he has, so Punishing Fire on the Lord of Atlantis. Paul sacrifices Curse Catcher to counter that, and then trades Lord of Atlantis for one of the Kavu Predators, and Silvergill Adept appears to be getting in for 3, alongside the Mutavault also getting in for 3.
Well, let's see. So another Punishing Fire in hand for Brandon here.
And another Kavu Predator. And that is a force of will that has been altered in an awkward, really strange looking way.
Yeah.
I'd love to
pretty
have
cool.
to go talk to Paul and see what that actually looks like close up. And Mutavault alongside the Adept. into the red zone for 4.
Now, the Greenson Zenith for 1 gives him a Noble Hierarch. Seems like a pretty nice one at this point.
And it's exactly what looks like the plan is here. It's about the only target, right? Noble Hierarch, yeah.
Yeah.
Only 1 drop. I mean, he could get a Dryad Arbor, but we've already seen, he only has 1 copy of Dryad Arbor anyway. And, you know, unless he was playing around Mental Misstep, that wouldn't have been the play anyway.
He may have to trade that Kabu Predator in hand for a Mutavault this turn.
Doesn't seem unreasonable.
Now, Brendan Leonhardt has, remember he has Grove of the Burnwells in his deck, and I think he has a another copy of Punishing Fire in hand, so.
And here we go again. Mutavault and Silvergill Adept into the red zone.
Now, this turn I think I may chump with the, not chump, but I may block the Mutavault.
Yeah, take out the Mutavault, trade Kabu Predator, and Adept gets in for 2. So, Paul plays an island and passes its turn.
Alright, now Brandon's going to have a Tarmogoyf this turn. Or perhaps a Knight of the Reliquary, whatever he fancies.
And it is Knight of the Reliquary for Brandon. Now,
5/5 or 4/4? I believe it's a 4/4.
I think we said 5. Oh, so it's +2, so it's a 4/4.
Okay.
So Paul does not have an answer in hand for it. Now has a Force of Will, but not relevant at the moment.
Now, with this Knight, Brandon can search up a Grove of the Burnwillows.
Yep. I think he just went into the red zone with it instead.
That seems fine.
Yeah.
Grove of the Burnwillows is pretty awesome against this deck.
Yeah.
That combination.
So Paul has the Force of Will for Brandon's Tarmogoyf. And Paul is down to just 1 card in hand, I believe. Or 1 or 2. I think that was Island. I think he's just got, oh no, it's Reejerey. Pretty sure that's a Reejerey.
So as you can hear, Brandon's deck does not have a single plateau.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I would have liked to have seen at least 1.
I mean, yeah, it seems like, why not have access to all of your duels in a 3-color deck?
Now, this attack, I think Brandon's going to go for a Punishing Fire on the Silvergill Adept.
This is, so here it is a Reejerey, okay. Paul taps 3, adds Miro Reejerey to the board.
Yeah.
And
Brandon's gonna go down a bit. He's gonna attempt this Punishing Fire.
I believe Paul's hand is only an island. Punishing Fire your Reejerey, and yeah, pick them up. So the Lonely Island in Paul's hand can't save the Reejerey.
And Brandon there, despite being stuck on 1 land for so long, his deck is very well positioned against Merfolk. He didn't even have to use the Fiery Justice there.
Yeah,
if he had, it would have just been a blowout.
Right.
let's look at these sideboards for a moment. Paul Lynch, post board. We can probably expect to see 2 copies of Threads of Disloyalty and 2 copies of Misdirection, and
Kira?
1 copy of Kira.
Yeah, an additional copy, yeah.
Whereas against Paul, Brandon will probably be bringing in
3 red elemental blasts.
You know, I mean, maybe it waters down the deck too much, but he's got Relic of Progenitus as well, Paul does, against that Punishing Fires combo, which he can expect. He can, I mean, he didn't see the Grove, but I think he saw about everything else that he needs to see.
Yeah, when you see Kabu Predator and Punishing Fire.
Right, you gotta figure there's Fiery Justice and Grove of the Burn Willows not far behind, so...
Pretty exciting for this deck to be 5-0.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, definitely an interesting choice here. So yeah, I mean, Relic of Progenitus, Pithing Needle, naming Knight of the Reliquary isn't terrible, but again, then you get into the point where you're watering down the deck too much.
Yeah. When I'm playing Merfolk, I really don't like cards like Pithing Needle or cards like Tormod's Strict because I feel like each of my spells is so important because I'm already using cards on like Vile and pitching things to Force, things like that I'm already not playing a card game. Like I'm playing a tempo game.
Yeah, no card advantage really whatsoever in this deck.
Yeah, it's Adept, basically.
Yeah, exactly. One cantrip, 4 copies of it, but that's it.
So Brennan Leonhardt shows the coverage woman his 3 red elemental blasts that he's bringing into the deck. And I don't think he'll bring in anything else.
Yeah, red elemental blast is about the only card. So Brandon brought in 3 red elemental blasts.
Yeah, and he's taking out Gaddock Teague, Terrasodon, and Natural Order.
Right, he also brought in Gaddock Teague. Why would he have... Oh, no, wait a minute.
No,
in Gaddock, Terrasodon, Natural Order. Okay. That was a little bit strange. I thought it was... Yeah.
Now,
reading that a little
I'm
wrong.
interested to see that he still has 2 Natural Orders and a Progenitus in his deck, but he has no way to reshuffle that Progenitus, and then he's going to have just 2 Natural Orders. It's a little odd. I think Paul will do really well if he's able to Threads like a big Kabu Predator.
Oh yeah.
Threads is just really strong here.
Yeah, Threads does seem really good against Brandon's deck. It's got Goyf, Predator. Is it 3 mana or 3 casting costs or less, right?
2 or less.
Is it 2 or less? Okay.
Yeah, so
he
you can take
can't hit
Predator
the
or
Knight,
Goyf.
right?
This one's tapped out, he can take Pride Mage.
Pride Mage, yeah. Seems good. For those of you just joining us, I'm Joey Pasco in the booth with Jacob Van Lunen, who I just pointed out even though we're not on camera. And I pointed out again while I said point. Anyway, we're here in Baltimore, Maryland covering the Star City Games Legacy Open. We're here in round 6 of 9. Very good turnout today, over 300 players, something around 330.
That's great for Legacy event.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Brandon has 5-0 right now with a Grove of the Burn Willows. Like almost a Time Spiral block constructed deck.
Yeah, I mean it does
Plus
kind of remind
Knight of the
you
Reliquary and a few other gems.
Yeah, Paul Lynch with Merfolk, which Paul Lynch, local guy, always playing the Merfolk, has done well with it very consistently, and I believe he won the last Star City Open Baltimore Legacy, or Star City Legacy Open in Baltimore back in September.